It's always sad when a young person passes away unexpectedly. Biggie, Pac, Big L, Left Eye from TLC, Aaliyah. There's a young man who played a quarterback in my city, shot for no reason. Brittany Murphy a while ago, and now Hayden Panettiere. Now allegedly, they said she died of an overdose. She had cardiac arrest. I'm sure we'll find more about that soon. And I guess a while ago, her brother had died from a heart ailment, and it could be in the bloodline. So if you have a family history of heart ailments, please get yourself checked out. And Hayden, you know, she abused drugs and alcohol for a while, and if you do have a heart condition, it just makes it even worse. But like I said, we'll find out about that later. First time I saw Hayden was in Remember the Titans with Denzel Washington. She was the cute little girl in that. And then, but what made her a cultural icon is that she played the cheerleader in Heroes. The first few seasons of Heroes was pretty good, but then after a while it kind of fell off, but she was always good in it. And then the show I watched her the most in was Nashville, with her and Connie Britton. I guess off screen they really didn't get along, which helped on screen because on screen they didn't get along. Yeah, so it's her, Connie Britton, Jonathan Jackson from General Hospital. It was you know, he was really good in it. And on the show, Jonathan and Hayden had a baby on the show, which I'll talk about that later. And then when she was on the show, she met Vladimir Klitschko, the heavyweight champion at the time. And it was always it was a fun dynamic because she was so tiny and he was so tall. But they seemed happy. And then she got pregnant. And then that's when things started to fall apart. Now, before that, though, I guess in a memoir, because she had a memoir out recently, like a few months ago, she was saying that when she was around 15 years old, she was going to a red carpet and somebody gave her happy pills. Turns out to be opiates. And she got addicted to them. And then by the time she was on Nashville, she had already been drinking. Now, she said when she was pregnant with a child with Klitschko, she was sober. But after that, that's when she experienced postpartum depression. She had a difficult pregnancy. And she fell into a deep depression, couldn't connect with her baby. And that got to be horrible for a mom, that she can't connect with her baby. And this comes back to Nashville. So after she had her baby, she went back to Nashville. They wrote the storyline with her and Jonathan Jackson having a kid. And they took her real life, having postpartum, and brought that into the show, and depression, all that stuff. And it's like, I don't know who the showrunners, and I love Nashville as a show, but I don't know who the showrunners are. Well, you would take someone's tragedy that they're still going through and make her relive that on TV. I don't know who the showrunner is. I don't know who wrote that storyline, but there's a nice place in hell for them. Because why would you do that to somebody? You know off screen they're going through stuff, and yet you write this storyline where they have to relive it. Now, maybe down the road, if there was like 3 years later and they're ready to take on that storyline, that's one thing, but to write it into the series was horrible. So then, but she kept on spiraling. Klitschko eventually took full custody of the child. He moved to Ukraine. Now they're in Europe because of the Ukraine war with Russia. And it was bad for Hayden. Now, in recent years, it seemed like she turned around. She wrote a book. She was in the latest Scream movie. She had another film that was out. She looked older. You could tell that she went through a lot, but it seems like she was getting her life together. And the next thing we know, she's gone. And the only thing we can do right now is, if you are a woman that's gone through postpartum, if you know somebody who went through it, or if you're a medical person, can you tell us what exactly postpartum is and how we can help people if they're going through it, if we can? If there's some YouTube videos, hotlines, websites, because I think the media has done a horrible job educating us on postpartum. A lot of women suffer with this. And sometimes I think, sometimes I wonder, man, maybe my mom had postpartum. But as a baby, you don't know. But back in those days, people didn't talk about it. So if we can do anything that we can help women, friends, anybody, sisters, aunts, and they're going through this, please leave the information below so we can help them. Because the only thing I know is when a woman's pregnant, her hormones, estrogen is super high. But after they have the baby, everything crashes. And you're dealing with body changes and hormonal changes and lack of sleep. And some women are able to rebound after a while, but then some women can't rebound, or it's difficult to rebound. So if we could do anything, please let us know in the comments. So rest in peace, Hayden Panettiere. Unfortunately, her daughter is going to grow up without her mom. But if you're a fan of Hayden's, what's your favorite project? Was it Remember the Titans? Was it Ice Princess? Was it Heroes? Was it Nashville? You hate to see someone pass away so young, but she left a lasting legacy being so young. Rest in peace, Hayden.